Well, welcome to Head, Heart and Balls. Well, I say balls, but poor old Ant is in hospital at the moment, so it's just you and me. Nisbo had a procedure. Did Ant? What are you doing, mate? You're in hospital.
Do you believe in miracles, Steph? Because here, the boy. Time is money these days, mate.
You tripping?
Oh, jeez.
You got the laughing gas going, mate.
Yeah, wow. What of an experience. 12 hours in A&E, the hospital. You know, I got a grab one deal, 2 for 1. I got the beak and 2 stones done.
What?
Yeah, old the orthopexy, I think it's called. My nuts hadn't actually dropped since birth, so Dr. Murley had got in there, and he must have been a good grade cricketer back in the day, because when he was between my legs, I was like, geez, he knows how to grip and rip a nut. You know, I was like, there's the doojra, there's the googly, and finally got that done. And then I also got my beak done as well.
That was yesterday afternoon.
Yeah, that's right, mate.
So how did you get here?
I got there's this new thing called Uber Wheels.
Uber Wheels.
Yeah, so it's wheelchairs on Uber. But I couldn't miss today, mate. Obviously, you get paid a lot of money for a job like this, but it's great to see you guys' gorgeous faces.
But you're on oxygen.
Yeah, I'm on the oxy. I stole this gas mask. You know, just you want to survive in this big, brave world. But yeah, no, it's great to be back, fellas. Head, heart, and balls. It's a finals footy now, and we head all the way down to South Africa. Nisbo, Hurricanes versus the Lions. Is the Lions Achilles heel, mate? Not played a New Zealand Super Rugby franchise yet?
Yeah, look, let me just say, mate, you look worse than somebody who's been on the end of a Crusaders rap.
That's very fair.
Fresh in their mind will also be the fact that last time they met, they got beaten in the final, and the time before that they met, the Hurricanes put 50 on them at Ellis Park, the venue of this weekend's game.
They've done 3 amazing things, the Hurricanes. Beauden Barrett's got a hole in one. TJ Perenara's kicked a goal from 69 metres in training, albeit at altitude. And Geordie Barrett's kicked a left footer from 40 metres the sideline. Fair to say the Hurricanes are in form.
So who takes the huge kicks in this game for the Hurricanes, Nisbo? Is it Geordie?
Yeah, I think it is Geordie. He's got a longer range than Beauden. But, I mean, when TJ kicks them 69 metres, that's phenomenal.
And if we had to go sort of head-to-head and pick a winner here, Nisbo, where's your head at, mate?
My head is with the Hurricanes, and so is my heart, to be perfectly honest.
No surprises there.
One of the things that's forgotten about the Hurricanes is that they have the second best defensive record in the competition as well. So, you know, the Lions aren't going to find it that easy to score tries. So, look, I'm going to go, my feeling is with the Hurricanes. Oh, no. You okay?
He's just taking in some of his gas.
Suck it to the big ones here, mate. Suck it to the big ones here, fellas. Oh, jeez.
The other game,
you need the altitude, mate.
I might have to tell you, he's just...
a bit of nos, I think that was.
Oh, dear. What's the other game? Jeez, it's the Crusaders and the Chiefs, which I'm heading down to. Are you really going to that game?
Yeah, I am going down there.
that?
Yeah, well, apparently I'm not a fly. I've got these piece of socks, compression socks, on my legs, on the pins, because they reckon I might get blood clots. You know, that's what they're scared of. Yeah, I'll be there in front of the crowd doing my thing. Hell of a game down there, mate. The Chiefs are obviously on the back foot, coming back from South Africa, only about 4 days prep, and geez, Razor Robertson's troops, they just looked delightful in the wet weather, didn't they?
They did. They looked really good. And I know that the Crusaders love beating the Chiefs, and they've proven that they can win in wet weather. They've proven they can beat pretty much everybody. I think it's too tough for the Chiefs myself. Just that travel. If the Chiefs had played in Hamilton and won last week,
yeah,
and the Crusaders played in Christchurch and won last week, I think it's game on. But I just think that travel factor, big guy.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, Nisbo. It was actually good to come into the comm box, mate, and see how you operate last week. Sorry about having the goggles on the eyes, but...
Yeah, it was good, mate. The only thing was we couldn't get rid of you. I know it was...
Well, starstruck when you've got...
nice and warm in there.
Yeah, no, it was very nice and warm, but, you know, when you're starstruck, when you see Justin Marshall, you know, oh my, oh me, oh yes, boy, you know, hell of a character. So it was, it was a nice little cozy spot there, and just making sure you guys weren't getting up to any mischief.
Did you know in the last 11 games between the Chiefs and the Crusaders...
Yeah.
The Chiefs have scored the first try?
Yeah, I know.
Unbelievable.
And Jimmy Lowe's, he's crossed over 5 times the last 7 games. So if you had to go with your ticker here, mate, what does your heart say?
Well, I love the Manawatu connection in the Chiefs, and it's probably the last game I'll have that connection with Rennie and Cruden. I'd love them to go close, but I can't see it, and I bet with logic. I'm a stat man, and I think the Crusaders, again, 30 and over, I think 235 is a great price for a team proven at home, in the rain, no travel factor, full strength.
Yeah.
I think logic suggests the Crusaders should get over the top, and they could put 13 points on them in the last 10 minutes.
I'm actually going to go for a first try scorer out of these games, and I'm going to go with Jimmy Lowe. I think he's going to go out on a high, and he's going to leave the Chiefs in good stead. And it's the small things like that. I think he's crossed over 5 times in the last 7 games, and I think he's going to find the chalk first.
Do you know that the Crusaders have only lost 2 games this year, and both those they were the only 2 games David Havili hasn't started at fullback. I think that's quite key as well. But Nisbo, what was your bet for the Canes game? We better get that out of you.
My bet is 12 and under for the Canes. I think it'll be a high-scoring game, but I don't think it'll be a hell of a lot between the 2 teams. And so 12 and under for the Canes. And my little take on the Chiefs-Crusaders game is that it's very much weather-dependent. I think the Chiefs will play a lot better in the weather than what we saw from the Highlanders last week. And if the ground is a bit greasy, it'll obviously, the 2 teams will compress up in terms of the scores. If I was asked, and I'm sure I'm not going to be, but if I was asked, I'd say Crusaders 12 and under.
Yeah, good stuff. But yeah, I just want to say, hey lads, it's great to have your insights going into these semi-finals. It's bloody exciting that at least one Kiwi team's going to be in the finals. And big thanks to Dr. Mirrelly. You're great with your hands, man. You've done a fantastic job. Obviously got the Grand 1 deal, 1 big 2 stones, and that gets me 20% off my next surgical procedure.
How about the head transplant?
Well, the lobotomy. Yeah, maybe, mate. If you want to donate your head to Science and Isma after you've carked it, mate, that'll be a beautiful present. So, thanks for having me back, fellas, and we'll see you next week. Love your work.